those went really good. Hey.
So you didn't get those anyway?
No. But Wrigley was a cool second, so yeah, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, we flew into Chicago, and I booked it to our next gate because we only had like a 12-minute layover before our next plane was supposed to board. We got there, fine. The announcer comes on the phone and says, okay, everybody, the plane just landed. We have to deboard, we have to clean the plane, and then, we'll board you guys. And as soon as he put that phone down, all the screens and all the phones blew up saying all flights are canceled to Boston for the evening. And we had tickets for Friday night's game. Well, the soonest we could get in wasn't until 8:30 that night into Boston. Well, the game starts at 7. Just wasn't any use to it. So yeah.
JR, don't leave at the end of the meeting. I had to talk to you.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and call the meeting in order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. We had minutes from the last meeting. Everybody's had a chance to look at them. September 15th. Is there any additions or changes? If not, do I have a motion to approve? Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved by Paul, seconded by Jason. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. We have presentation of the bills.
Make the motion to approve.
Nicole makes the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved by Nicole, seconded by Jason. Any other discussion? Was that for bills and payroll, Nicole?
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other?
Before we had a list of all that, so how are you going to do that now? Like on your minutes, you have the list of all the bills. How will you do that now with Patrick Deck? Is it still going to be listed that way?
I think per Abby, I think she will list them in the minutes for you guys like that. Right now, what she does is she takes an Excel spreadsheet and she types it all in manually. So we'll be figuring out how to do that in an easier way, just as a copy and paste from Tyler, so there's no mistakes. But I just sent everybody a login to check the entire list for this specific meeting and future meetings going forward on the checklist.
Okay.
We can do a little bit of quick demo training on how to look into it real quick. Nicole is looking at it right now, so.
Obviously, we want to be transparent, so we want them on the minutes so that the public can see them.
We're saying the same thing. Yep. It'll be on the minutes, so.
Is everybody logged in? Might as well do that first.
Yep.
You should get an email from Casey.
Yep. Everybody should have a ability to log in. If you don't, let me know. All you need is your username is your City of Hillsboro email address. And then it may have you authenticate with your authenticator app. But if you go to, here, I'll log into mine. It'll look a little different than your guys's, but it'll be fairly close. Here. Okay, so you should see a screen kind of similar to this. And then you should have accounts payable as an option over on the left-hand side if you click on these 3 lines up here. Then you're gonna come down to accounts payable. And where did we see that nice list? That was under payments, wasn't it, Nicole?
The payable items
Yes.
is, yeah, the.
Yep. Yep, underneath payments. So then you just put in, it'll always filter to the meeting date. So we're gonna do that, then we're gonna do 10/06/2025. We're gonna hit apply. Okay. And then here is where you'll see all of the bills that are being requested to be approved tonight, or that you guys just approved. It won't always show them all on the same page because we've got 44 bills for tonight, so you just have to page over. So yep, in the future, we're gonna be pulling a report off of this list. This is everything that Abby puts in. And then that'll be copied and pasted into the meeting minutes. Yep. And it's fairly safeguarded, so if you guys do want to go check it out and look into anything, there's nothing to my knowledge that you guys can do to the financials. You're just on viewing mode. If that happens to not be the case, please let me know, because the only thing anybody on commission should have approval for is to approve purchase orders when we get to that point. So.
What's the username, did you say?
Username, it should be your email address. Yep. Yep, and it will always be that, and then you don't need a password, it just authenticates you, just like logging into your Outlook.
And you should be able to see the bills, or the actual the
Invoices, yep.
You can click on them.
Oh, not what I want. We'll go to vendors. I know one that Nicole had was RMB, so we'll go there. There's my RMB vendor right here. Oh, mine doesn't want to be as nice as, oh no, here we go. Then you come down to the individual invoices, you click on those. Oh, it's still not being very nice to me. Nicole was able to get the document to open up, but yeah, mine's not being very kind. But yeah, we're trying to go a little bit more paperless, just moving forward, so.
So I see all the invoices, I guess, to Levi's question, the payroll side. Seeing the invoices, do you know how we can
You payroll on
do
here?
that one? Yeah.
I don't know if payroll reporting is set up for you or not yet.
I
I'll
don't know.
write that on a to-do item to check into.
We just need the printout, right?
Yes, yep, I provided those for you guys for the different gross pays and then the vendor pays in your email packet. I didn't put them online, just in the email packet. So yeah, I'll check into the payroll side of things. Is everybody able to log in?
There we go.
My computer's being slow.
Okay.
Can you click on the invoices to do that? Or?
Can you click on the invoices?
Yeah.
We have to go to do that. You can click on them to see if, oh, that's okay. Go ahead and click on one.
This one?
Yeah. So that'll just give you the rough breakdown. If you want to see things in detail, come up here to your 3-dot menu, and then come down here to vendors. So like, yeah, click on, oh no, go back up there. There you go, click on vendors. There you go. Okay, now, do you have a vendor you'd like to look up? Border states? Okay, so type in the word border. And then, there you go, now hit search. There's your border states vendor, so double click on him. Try it again. There you go. Okay, so now here's all the invoices. You'll look at the dates and you can, oh shoot, yours is a touch screen, I'm sorry. Here's all your different all your different ones. If you want to see all of the invoices, you can click on documents up here. You see there's 20 of them. If you want to click on an individual line item, go ahead and try that one time. I would try August. Oh look, August does have one. So then you click on document up there. I wasn't sure if Abby got August scanned in, but you have to let it load up, and that's where you find your invoices. It just takes a minute to load. Maybe it doesn't feel like loading for you. It loaded on Nicole's. Maybe try one that's, oh, there you go. There's your invoice.
How far are you?
This vendor's here.
Yep. Double click on vendor, double check. Let me type in the vendor.
You also can just, up at the top, where there's a search bar, type in border states, and it'll bring you up whichever business you want.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we're still working on some of the receivables. We've been focusing hard on expenditures. But yeah, we're hoping to have the last 2 months reconciled by the next meeting. So you guys will get to see some financials then.
But all I can product.
Okay, is there any other questions? Everybody seen? We had a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. I see we did miss we have to open up for the budget hearing, correct?
Yes.
So I'll open up for the budget hearing at 6:46. Does anybody who'd like to address the commission concerning the budget hearing? Anybody address? All right. Then I will close the budget hearing at 6:47 or 6:46, something. Okay. Is there any citizens that would like to address the commission tonight? And we do have one complaint that we can. So the complaint came in, the concern is on Main Street, the Sons of Silence Clubhouse, the old theater, the north side of the building, all the old bricks on the wall and roofing are falling off the building, possible hazard.
Who checks it? Who verifies that? Public Works and
Well, this would be a planning and zoning. I guess we would pass it on to them. Is that what you'd like to proceed with?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll bring it up at planning and zoning next week. Okay. Just for efficiency and clarification's sakes, do I have a motion to accept the citizen complaint and move it on to planning and zoning?
Make the motion.
Nicole makes a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Paul. Any other discussion? John?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
And a yes for me. Motion carries. Commissioners reports. We'll start with Jason tonight.
Only thing I have is for the sheriff's office, got a new deputy that's in training, Cody Sprecher, he can stand up. He is in week 5, something like that, so
What's his name?
Cody Sprecher,
Can you spell that?
Hi, Cody.
Sprecher.
I just want to make sure you.
Put me on the spot,
Welcome, Cody.
so.
I drive a white Ford pickup, leave it alone.
There's a lot of whiteboard pictures.
He drives away for me.
Okay, I drive a white rusty Ford.
He doesn't like wearing a seatbelt either, maybe.
Hey! I wear my seatbelt all the time.
Except for if you're looking.
Only time I'm not wearing it is when they sneak up on me.
Anything else, Jason?
That's all I have.
One issue that came up, if you want to see if you guys can look into it, around the high school, there's been more people parking closer to the edges, and today somebody was parking in front of a fire hydrant, so maybe it might just take some.
How many signs are we supposed to have over there that we weren't supposed to park from here to the corner? Because I only see one over there.
They're not in yet.
No, well, I thought we had the ones for no parking from here to the corner. I thought those were in.
Yeah, we put those up last year, right?
That's what I thought, but I only see one.
It was only on the one corner.
But it's only on one side, is that all?
Correct. Yeah, it wasn't on we didn't place it on the west side, we only placed it on the east side.
Okay. And that was why? Why was that just on one side? There's also, there was somebody parking between the driveway and the stop sign right by the hospital there too. You know, facing west, there's that little section there. So they were basically parked right by the sidewalk. And of course, there's no sign there, so I don't know. It's supposed to be, or?
Well, and if it's yellow, correct?
No, it's not yellow there either. I don't think there's anything yellow.
It depends what our city century code does, says if it says that we just follow the state law, then it's actually 15 feet. So I'd have to look up and see what exactly our city ordinance is, if we have our own distance or not.
We have our own distance here.
Find out in a second.
Okay.
I don't want that.
I looked it up.
I thought we just followed state law, state change.
I'm assuming so, or we just copied state law then.
So, because I know we were having an issue with that over in Mayville, and they only had painted yellow like 5 feet. So we were asking if they could extend that paint.
I don't think there's anything painted over there.
There was at one time, I don't know, because the school has been doing it.
It might have been on the school side, I'm talking more on the north side.
You're talking at the three-way there?
No, this is actually around the high school.
Oh,
I'm talking.
but you brought up the high school though, right?
Yep.
Which side?
Today it was on the west side, the west and north side is where it was, because there's a fire hydrant on the, and they were parked right, like the vehicle butt end was on the fire hydrant. So. We just noticed a higher part of it, so They just asked if we could bring it up. I said, yep, I can bring it up. Okay? John?
Ben did give me kind of a list of things that I passed over to Jade, get done at the armory. She said they're having apparently the federal government still coming in doing their inspection on the week of the 20th, so I got all that information over to Jade. One thing he was wondering about is cars still coming in, those to the cemetery, or is it already done?
I have not seen it.
Finish
I
that.
have an answer to that. They're coming in this week.
Okay,
Quincy called me last week and said they would be scheduling to come this week to
Okay.
Hillsboro.
do you know if they got informed to finish the job over at the armory?
I don't know, but I can call him.
Okay.
I can ask him, because Jay brought that up to me also today.
Yeah,
And I'm assuming yes, but I don't know, but I can find out.
I've told them about 15 times, so
And it should be on their list
I
then.
think it was on the quote, wasn't it?
Yeah, I called him a few times, not recently, but
Yeah, well, he called me last week, so yeah, then if you guys told me, I'm assuming it's on the list. So,
I
and I
didn't,
know the cemetery also was, on that, and
yeah.
I know I didn't tell him anything about the armory, so if you happen to talk to him, would you ask him?
I will.
Okay, thank you.
And that's all I had.
Okay. Nicole?
Yeah, just a few things. I'll start with, the city stuff first. Zach found 2 manholes that were in pretty rough shape and a fire hydrant that needs to be replaced, which we talked about, I know, last year. Bricks are starting to cave in, one having the bottom section of the clay pipe missing and entering the manhole, so we're gonna have those replaced. And so we're gonna move ahead on that. We have some funds set aside for that anyway in this budget. And then some of the shingles on the well houses are in tough shape, so it'll cost about $2,500, but the guys are willing to put those shingles on to get that updated. And then I attended the North Dakota League of Cities conference. And I think the big takeaway I got a lot of big takeaways, but I think one of the things is to probably come up with a process for the cybersecurity side of things. Things that I'm not sure on are the 365 security reviews, knowing if the measures are in place. If we need maybe a virtual chief information security officer, maybe we have one that can provide some strategic security leadership, but to also put together a cybersecurity plan. That was kind of the big conversation at this last one about how cities are protecting all of the data. And so I got to attend that with both Paul and Jay. So we split classes, so we really didn't go to the same class a majority of the time, and kind of just took away our notes on that. So I think that's about all I have.
Anything else?
Do you want me to bring it up? The airport side? Or
It's
no?
up to you.
Okay, so I got a call from the airport, and they had someone out taking kind of a look, and it's kind of in conversation right now that there might be what's called a possessory tax. And so I'm not exactly sure 100% where this is sitting, but it is something that the county does have that are going to meet, and I don't know what the end result is, but they could potentially put what's called a possessory tax on the airport for those rentals. If that happens, the airport may look at a very big deficiency in funding, which means that the airport could potentially be looking at shutting down or trying to find a way for that to still continue to press forward being open. So there's just been some conversations back and forth. They don't know what that would look like quite yet. And so we're just kind of trying to figure out if that does go through, what that picture looks like. So really have a ton of information, but it's just something that might potentially not allow them to continue building hangars and continue rent, so. So if there's any questions on that.
Would they be able to increase their rent to cover and pass those fees onto the renters?
So
I don't
they're.
know what dollar amount we're looking
Yeah,
at.
I did ask that question. The worry was that they're pretty high now, so if they go any higher, that they could potentially risk them moving out of their rental units and going to Fargo or Grand Forks hangars instead. And so that's, they're concerned about any more increases of that, a potential thing, so.
So it actually isn't billed to the airport, it's billed to the people that are renting it.
Right.
And so I had called to talk to Tom about it to get a better clearance of what was going on. And I asked him if they were taxing anybody in the county according, you know, because if it's just this airport or they're doing this for everybody, and he couldn't give me an answer, and he hasn't gotten back to me yet at this point. But he referred to something in Buxton, which the only thing in Buxton that I can think of is the daycare, which a daycare would be tax exempt anyways, according to Century Code.
You know. And I'd never heard of this tax, so it was kind of new.
But it's
Very
basically
old.
for any government-owned property that is leased out or rented out to any business that isn't government entity could be charged.
You can put that taxation on them.
So,
So,
but like Nicole said, she also mentioned that they had decreased, the county had decreased their funding a couple of years ago, so you put that on top. Now
right.
it's adding some more interest onto them. So just something to be aware of. Anything else?
I think that's it. So I mean, I hope to have more information, hopefully next meeting or two on it, but that's kind of what we're looking at right now.
Okay. Paul?
Okay, I do with our League of Cities, like Nicole said, and of course, took a lot of things, as always, when I go there and make contacts. But the one thing that I noticed that they really, one class emphasized was inventory of not only inventory of products that we have, equipment, so on and so forth, but also inventory of like our electrical, water, or sewer, like when was that hydrant put in, when was that water tower built, and having that in place and planning, okay, what's the life expectancy of these items, and then have a plan. Okay, when are we going to replace? When we if this item has a life expectancy of 50 years, what are we doing to plan to replace that 50 years? If it's 5 years, what are we doing to have that placed? But of course, we don't have that inventory. And I know that was something that Tyler Tech, you were going to be doing some stuff on. I'm not sure if that was included in that or not. But the state does have forms and things that you can use for that also. For different, the big class was on the water side. So, but it can be translated to everything. So, and I understand that's pretty big stuff, but moving forward, you know, if we start documenting, especially with the electrical project, if we document all the things we do, well, it should be easy to, you know, keep that updated as you go and plan as you move ahead. So that was one thing that they expressed a lot there, but a lot of good conversations out there, a lot of talk amongst everybody on different things like about citizens addressing and things like that, you know, and concerns that some of them had. So, but on the electrical side, we'll have something later on that's on the agenda. But also, I want to thank Roy and Brian. They got the billboard lights on. If you haven't seen them at night, you can run out there now after the meeting. They got those up. As some of you may see in their electrical survey floating around out there. If you haven't had a chance to take that, be sure to take it. HEDC, of course, they've got their daycare grants that they're looking at more on that. They brought back a program that they had in the past. They also made a nice donation to the close-up kids going out to Bismarck. And they've also completed a lot of their updates on the Grow Hillsboro, their website, Experience Hillsboro, Grow Hillsboro, taking the same website. So if you get a chance, go on there and look, and if you find anything that doesn't appear to be right or is out of date, let me know, and we'll try and make sure that we get it updated, so everybody, it's a lot of, it's kind of the economic development and business association side, where of course the city is more the city side. There's also a link on there to city too, so it's not doubling up. So if you click on the city website, city government, or whatever, it'll take you right to the Hillsboro page. So they put a lot of work into that, and I hope that people, if anybody has questions about Hillsboro, friends, neighbors, whatever, you can direct them to that on top of the City of Hillsboro website, which both have a tremendous amount of information. So I think that's all I have. Oh, the strategic planning, I sent an email out to everybody. A couple on Casey and John kind of replied back to what days may work for them. So if you can check that out when you get a chance, Nicole, and John, and Levi, and because they can have, she says that we can go into January if we need. So if none of those dates seem to work, we can look at January too. So if those will work, let me know what will work for everybody, because it's pretty important that everybody is able to make it from the city commission side. So does anybody have any questions about that? It's the same thing I got printed out here is what I sent. Okay. So I think that's all now.
I had a quick comment. For inventory, we don't have inventory module ready to go quite yet, but fixed assets is on there. That'll be all your bigger items, all your equipment, all your city infrastructure items. I just looked at Nicole's, Tyler, and it's not something you guys have access to yet, so we'll get you guys access. Yeah, all of the large items in our inventory, think of those as fixed assets, and you'll be able to see all that. So.
And I think this was more directed towards like your underground electrical hydrants and stuff, not so much your bigger things like your equipment and stuff.
That would be infrastructure, wouldn't it, Casey?
Yeah, yep, we have, so when I assembled the entire list last year, AE2S worked with me to put together how many feet of water and sewer line you guys have, how many,
And this was also, they were wondering that when it was put in too. I don't know if that's even available, but moving forward, it would be something that, okay, you put this hydrant in, you want to document that this hydrant was replaced 5 years ago or whatever it was. So you kind of got to know, because if we've got 100 hydrants out there that are 40 years old, that could present a potential problem if we're not planning, to improve those things as we move forward. So
yes, and Tyler does have the ability to document all of that. Yep, we put in, I don't know if you can see the screen, but
75 years old.
huh?
I think the oldest one might be 75 years old.
Yeah.
what's
But-
that?
I said, I think the oldest one might be 75 years old.
We'll scroll up. I just filtered down to what the water plant has, and this is, up for amendments, but here's just a beginning list of what's over at the water plant, department water, buildings or equipment, it kind of categorizes everything. And then we're able to put in whatever I could find for original costs is what we put in. We can put depreciation on it. For a lot of it's so old, we just didn't do depreciation on a lot of our items. Yeah, acquisition, we put in whatever dates we thought, based on the records, we got everything in. Yeah, and we can put in as much info as we possibly can,
What
so.
water plant is that they have up there?
What was that?
What water plant is that?
Ours?
What was the 1955?
But it just, they are.
Well, then I think
Bathhouse.
the water plant is a little newer than 1955.
Well, that's the
That must have been the
bathhouse.
old one, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you click on
Yeah,
it.
that's-
Okay, I got you.
This is the
Okay,
pool.
that's supposed to be
Okay.
pool? Okay, see, thank you guys, I'll get that fixed. Oh, yeah,
Well, that's good, it's on the 40s at least.
here, thanks.
And I know the GIS map has some of it in on the new stuff that we do know, but We have to make sure when we put new stuff in, it gets updated.
Gets updated.
Yep. A lot of the old stuff isn't, but the new stuff does say date installed, I just looked, so. Okay, anything else, Paul?
Nope.
Okay, if you see down further, we have the LWA agreement, the Series F. If you are interested on Tuesday, October 14th, from 10 a.m. to 12 at the Holiday Inn in Fargo, I'll send you the invite if you are interested. The Garrison Diversion invites us to go learn more about the Red River Valley Water Supply Project if you're unsure about it. I know Casey is gonna go, so if anybody else would like to go, let me know and I'll send you the invite. It is during their regular meeting, but, so you'll able to hear from the LWA Board of Directors. They'll have that, so you'll be able to get it and then get the same information. And that would be a great place if you have questions about it to also to meet and get those answered.
For that agreement, Levi, does that have, so I noticed like the conversations, some of the content and stuff, what does that have specifically to do, like with us, like are we, I know we're part of the project, but as far as the agreement is that between those parties that were in that email, like Fargo and?
Correct, so each one of those is signing an agreement that says we are agreeing to X amount of water production from the Red River Water Supply Project, and with that we will provide X amount of funding for that over the next years to pay for it. I think it was.
We really need to know then.
Right, but if you want to know about more on the project and how it's coming along and the final stages of it and how we would be affected and those things, and so, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So if you're interested in going, just let me know and myself or Casey can get you. You don't have to RSVP for it, but they did request if possible, just saying who's attending. The pool, those, I think Zach's gonna meet with, for those that wanna come and look at it on Wednesday.
Yes, and Jay's gonna come up.
Okay, for the bidding process, so the bids are out, and hopefully we'll get some back on that. The cameras for the shop came in, so we'll get those put up and installed. And on that, with a good note, I got a call from Neil from East Central the other day. Asked about, said they were gonna put cameras in for their new building. Asked if we would like to have cameras installed on the outside as well. They said they would cover the cost and all of that, and I said, sure. So that would save us on one camera system, so, and they'd give us access to it. Did everybody get a chance to look at the checklist from planning and zoning? And if you had any additions or changes for the demos? You have till next Monday to really get anything in, so, if you didn't. Planning and zoning, there, we had our first inspection with our new inspectors, and that went really well. Really good process. They sent the things that needed to be required by or questions, and they were able to answer back, and so we'll get that figured out. That's the building checklist. This might be something that we would use, especially for the complaint that just came in. So it would work really well.
Whoops.
We did hear back from the grant from North Dakota Department of Ag for the ag infrastructure. We applied for the anchor ingredients, and we were denied that based on that we were over a population of 1,500. I would encourage everybody to reach out to the legislators, to anybody else that they know, to help get that changed in a couple of years. Also, with that, I've been doing a lot of stuff on the backside trying to find help I've put it out basically that, you know, to our legislators, Commerce, everybody that's asked that we need help with some of these projects. We are, I said we are trying to prepare for the future, but when we get more projects on top of everything, it really hinders our amount to fund. So, you know, I said we're putting $20 million in electrical infrastructure upgrades, but when we've got another $1 million of added ask above and beyond that project, that really constrains us as far as what we can bill and bond, and so you know, with $600,000 to $800,000 going out to the water treatment plant for the new upgrades there, and $200,000 to $300,000 for anchors, ingredients upgrades, that really puts us at a strain. So we'll keep working, and with that, Jim Murphy has lined up at some point Commerce and a whole bunch. They said they used to have these powwows where they'd get a whole bunch of, I shouldn't say call it a powwow, a meeting of the minds might be better.
Better.
Yeah.
That could be questionable sometimes too.
Yeah. Meeting of the minds, whatever you want to call it, to everybody get together and come up with ideas and what we can do to make things go a little bit easier and faster and better, and hopefully come up with some. I wasn't asking for handouts from anybody, I was just asking for help and assistance, so I try to get our stuff done and benefit those that are coming into the community. Right. I think that is all I have. So we'll go on to Roy or Zach. Do you have anything tonight?
I just know that the only other thing is, we meet with Steve tomorrow, and I think the company going for the sewer camera.
Oh, yeah.
And get started on
Yep.
that. Or when call.
That's right. I forgot about that
That's
too.
tomorrow. Yeah, pool is Wednesday.
I think it's tomorrow. At 10?
Yes. No. In the afternoon.
I got it from Yarda.
We had to change.
12.
Yeah, we were doing 3.
It was 3 and then he went to 12.
Jason and I had some of the lead copper tomorrow
Okay.
afternoon too, so we'll get started.
Okay. Anything
Is
else?
that on Wednesday, Casey?
Lead and copper?
Yeah.
No, it is Wednesday.
I'll double check on my calendar.
Yep. Hillsboro Sanitary Sewer Invest. It's 12 on
Pool
Wednesday.
Pool tomorrow.
No, I think pool's on Wednesday.
Pool was Wednesday, so is lead and copper, so.
Okay.
All
I guess
three.
I guess Wednesday's a busy day.
I guess so.
You can't sleep under your
The pool is 10? The pool is 10, right?
Yeah.
And that's basically just to answer questions for any contractors that want to come in and ask about the project.
So I do have, I'm supposed to meet with Jim Hansen sometime this week, schedule an appointment with him and Wayne, I believe is his name. They have questions on how we're gonna supply power out to the new water plant. So, I've spoken with, Daniel Mesner from EDR. He came up, and basically all we can really do at this point is just kind of give him a vague description of what we're gonna do until the final plans come out, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
And which we'll talk about that more too at phase 1, because we put that on to phase 1 so that we can make it work. Okay. Anything else? Okay. JR?
Just the agenda items.
Casey?
The only thing that I had was I forgot to put an item on the agenda regarding the cash rent agreement that JR wrote up. So I wanted to make sure that you guys talked about that. It got sent out in the email and put online. I just didn't get it on the agenda.
Okay. I'll make sure, I've got that on F.
Okay, other than that, MRES events, I was at Tech Days 2 weeks ago, and then I graduated the lead course, last week. Other than that, I'll be home now for a while. I won't be gone for 2 weeks straight again. So, yeah, that's all I have.
Okay. And nothing else from the sheriff's office or engineers, so we'll go to the LWA agreement. So basically that is asking us to sign up. We already agreed, we had the memorandum of understanding that we were gonna move forward. Now it's a little bit more in-depth, maybe JR. Is there anything else you?
No, you summed it up very well. It's just moving forward with the same idea.
All we need is an approval to sign off on that. And that's to give us that dedicated amount of water coming from the Red River Valley Supply Project out of the Garrison Diversion Project, or out of the Garrison Dam. Do I have a motion to approve to sign?
Well, we've already agreed to the project, so I'll make the motion.
Nicole makes the motion. Is there a second? Do I have a second?
Second?
Seconded by Paul. Is there any other discussion? Nicole moved, Paul seconded. Any other discussion? John?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
And a yes for me. Motion carries. Next item is a resolution of policy in accordance with Senate Bill 2180. We had made a motion, but Casey thought that Harwood had made more of a resolution, so it's in policy. I don't think we have to vote on it tonight unless you feel that it looks exactly like you want to see it.
What did you
Nicole?
think of it, JR? What did you think of it?
Of the agreement itself?
Yeah.
Or
The resolution?
The resolution for the
For-
allowing
Public
people
comments.
to,
I was just reading it, that's funny you
Okay.
asked. I looked at this a month or two ago, it's just refreshing. It's
Yeah.
fine to me. It's more up to you guys if that's what you guys want. I know that's what Harwood now uses at least, if not a couple other cities, I can say.
Yeah.
the only other idea I thought, which I haven't had time to even think about doing, was that if we had a commissioner handbook that similar to a policy in that handbook that you guys could change at times, similar to our employee handbook. It's just someplace so that it's noted that we are following Century Code that says we are opening up.
I'm just, the one thing I don't know if I found it or not eventually, but my one concern would be, okay, I'd say, because that's 3 minutes, right? If I remember reading right?
Yep.
You know, if there's somebody that's really given a lot of information that we find valuable, would at the discretion of the council, would we be able to have them continue? Is that in there?
Yes.
It's written in there?
Should be.
And you can change that to whatever time you want. I think we said 5 originally.
Think so. That sounds right.
Is this something you guys want to see, or would you rather do a policy book?
I would rather keep it simple.
Or we can leave it as is in the minutes. It's just, remember going back into the minutes where it was.
JR, what would be your recommendation?
Do you know where it was in the minutes?
I'd have to look.
May.
What's that?
I think it was May.
State law requires we have something. So if it's
Right.
not this, we can tailor this to make it work for us. But it'd be nice to have something. We did have it in the minutes, but that was, I think, of the one that was not too long ago or the one that was years ago.
No, it wasn't that long ago.
Okay.
It wasn't too long after the last legislative session.
Did we discuss it when we decided to move it to the comment section to the beginning?
Correct.
Yes.
And what's that been, like 3 meetings now?
Then it's been at the top.
It's been more than that.
Or, I'm sorry, like 2 or 3 months worth of
Yep.
So that's the resolution part, right?
This is a resolution.
Okay, so then, they had at the League of Cities, the public comment policy, and they have like this document where the individual puts their stuff down on this paper, and they gave this as an example, and I can send it to everyone, but are we doing something like that? Or do we have to?
Is that what they call a speaker card? That's what they call a speaker
I
card?
think so, because that's what they showed on the slide. So I took this one at the League of Cities, so then I texted Casey and I'm like, do we have this? She's like, actually working on it right
This is
now.
actually where
Yep.
this one came from.
Okay.
So this resolution goes in hand with that one.
Okay, so then we're okay, we don't need this particular sheet.
Well, this resolution incorporates that. We fill out a speaker card saying, I'd like to speak at the meeting tonight.
Yes, okay.
Mhm.
Okay, yes, that was my question, we have to speak. Okay,
Yeah, it references that.
okay.
Are we gonna, if we approve this, would we have to come up with some type of speaker card then, or?
That's what she has right there.
Yes.
League of Cities right now.
No, but I mean, would we have to have one out there? Okay.
Yeah.
So here it is. It was on July 7th. Proposed 5 minutes per person at the beginning. And Commissioner Garai made the motion to move the citizen address to the beginning of the meeting with a limit of 5 minutes per person that can be extended on the discretion of the commission. Commissioner Evans seconded, roll call vote, all voted in favor, none voted no.
That works for me.
That works for you? Okay, so we gotta remember July 7th.
Okay.
Maybe you have to put on the side of that
Where's
one.
your little tablet thing that you can just write it down?
I need to bring that thing back. Okay. Okay,
Okay.
I'll write that down.
She didn't even text you July 7th.
That's okay. I'll put it in my meeting notes. Thank you, though.
Abby, July 7th. All right, so then we'll move on to the budget 2026. Anybody have any questions, concerns, comments?
I have none.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the budget for 2026? Remember, this can be amended and changed as needed, if needed. Do I have a motion to approve? Or discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Jason makes the motion, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by John, is there any other discussion? Nicole?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
And a yes for me. Motion carries. We'll open up the Midwest Heritage Building Property Tax Incentive at hearing at 7:26. Is there anybody that would like to address? Anybody like to address? Anybody like to address? All right.
So you feel like you're talking to yourself.
Sometimes. We will then close the meeting, the incentive hearing at 7:26. And do I have a motion to approve the property tax incentive for Midwest Heritage Building?
I move that we approve it.
Is there-
Tax exemption.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved by Paul, seconded by Jason. Any other discussion? Paul?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
And a yes for me. Motion carries. The rezoning hearing for, it's actually not Jordan Properties anymore, is a different name, but that is rezoning of the Jordan subdivision, Jordan first subdivision, from an R2 to an R3, which allows them to split the homes in half.
Oh, because they were
I'm gonna sell them.
Correct, yep, so right now they're 100-foot lots, they want to split them down to 50-foot lots so that they can basically split the home in half. One person can buy one half of the
and
duplex,
then one can buy.
one can buy the other.
Gotcha.
Like a twin home,
It's a twin, they're basically twin homes now,
just selling each individual home.
selling each individual home,
Yeah.
yep. So, planning and zoning approved and had their hearing, now this is our final hearing on this. So I'll open the hearing for that at 7:27. Oh, I want to make sure to change time. Is there anybody here that would like to talk about the hearing for Jordan First Subdivision rezoning? Hearing none, I'll close it at 7:28. Do I have a motion to approve the rezoning from an R2 to an R3 on the Jordan First Subdivision?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
John makes the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Jason. Any other discussion? Nicole?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes,
John?
Yes.
And a yes for me. Motion carries. I'm going to move cash rent up unless anybody is up. Do we have a motion to approve the contract for cash rent?
Did they agree upon it? Or was that just for us to approve, that's what we're gonna offer?
Yep.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Is there a second?
second,
Moved by Jason, seconded by Paul. Any other discussion? Paul?
yes,
Jason?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
And a yes for me. Motion carries. All right, the next item is the Phase 1 electrical system improvements for DGR. So that is basically we had asked DGR to come up with them to get the preliminary phasing through, get us to the final design, all those things, so that we can start doing it out. This is our next step in the process before we would actually bid it out and get the bonding for it. So, Roy, if you want to talk any more on it, or?
According to this, it's just basically, I mean, it gives you a pretty good description of how they're gonna plan everything and how, basically just to help the city out with the bidding, the search of contractors that would be, and vet the contractors that so choose, help us with how to go with the best bid. So all that stuff, basically it's a plan, it's planned out in detail on a lot of the description of stuff that we're gonna be doing, or that they're gonna be doing for us. But this is just the task order for them to get started on that, to start phase 1. And then for them to come up with the finalization of the plans and stuff like that.
First question you're going to ask is how are we paying for this? It will come out of electrical, but we'll have to keep a separate account on it, and anything that is related to phase 1 past our initial planning of the master plan will be bonded into or loaned into the loan agreement, which will be our next phase. After DGR figures this all out, gets our bidders ready to go. So I think the hope is to bid it out this fall, or later this fall, early winter, so that we are able to start construction next spring. And paying for this is built into the user fees and rates that will be coming. Anything else, Paul?
I don't have anything else. When is that money would be available coming, when was that date you said? Just to reapply for that?
Sometime in December, we think. When we move farther onto the phase, this will be up to you guys, but you'll have to decide. There are some other funding sources that we can work through, some through the federal government and some through the state. Similar options where we can buy lower interest loans. I don't know that we want to go the bonding route. It may make it a little bit harder to do. And you pay a little bit more on it.
I want to thank you both for looking at those other avenues. So I know it's no easy task finding that, but I appreciate that you guys are doing that.
So do we have a motion to approve phase 1 contract, or task order for DGR?
I move that we approve phase one electrical system improvements, DPR engineering.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Moved by Paul, seconded by John. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? John?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
And a yes for me. Motion carries. All right, well, that took less time than I thought it would. We have the employee handbook. Has everybody had a chance to look at it? Do you have the table of contents in? Do you have the table of contents in?
That was actually there prior,
Oh,
so,
I just never noticed it before.
yeah.
On page 6, where do we keep, we have, we do, background checks and all that stuff. Where do those, and employment, it says here in this policy, the city of Hillsboro will check the employment references of the applicants. Where is that information kept? Is that kept in their file that was done, or?
For references?
Yeah,
Yeah, I keep it with their applications, just my hand notes on references.
you got the background checks and everything, all in that same file?
You know, that is one thing that hasn't been enforced. And is that something that the commission would like us to do going forward? I was never subject to a background check. I haven't been enforcing them, I'll be honest, so.
Even when Skager was on the commission, he just basically he did a search. It was not an official background check.
Like a public records request?
Correct. He just basically did a search when he did it for us. So there was never anything official. It was just a simple search saying, was there any red flags that came up? And he would either say yes or no.
So then if that's the case, do you guys want verbiage changed in the handbook to reflect that then?
Well, what you have, so it just says criminal background checks will be administered. So would he have anything paper-wise that he did that, or was that just something?
I assume that he used the court system to do a search and
in courts and
see if there was.
see if any crimes.
Yep.
Did they give you a paper report or not?
Or it's something that anybody can go look and just see if
No,
they.
but I mean, that we can put in your file.
I'm sure we could.
Print off the ND court search.
Yeah.
If you do it for one, let's do it all.
Okay,
It's in your policy, that's what we do, we do for everyone.
okay.
Other than that,
As far as doing a public search though? Because we kind of had this discussion a little bit back in January. Remember that?
I do a little bit, I know we can just use the anti-court system,
Okay.
we have access to that.
But it would be best if we had somebody that is not involved with the direct hiring of it to make sure that there's no bias that goes into it.
And to me, it's about, is it making sure that it was done? You know, as a reference, what, did you even do a background on the check? How do you not know that this person did X, Y, Z thing? Didn't you do a background check? Well, we did one on this day. Look at there was the teacher from Minnesota that they did a background check, and then they found out later that he had some things. Well, if we have to say, hey, we did it here now, and this is a paper copy of saying what we got, and something's missed by the, whatever happened there, I'm not sure what happened there. But, did you hear about that?
odds for the,
Are you talking about that superintendent in Iowa?
I don't think you know, this was in Minnesota someplace, it was a teacher, so.
well, there was, in Minnesota, wasn't it Minnesota, they just had a superintendent that they found out to be illegal or something?
It could have been a separate issue, but the one that I heard was not superintendent, but. So. But like I said, it's just more that we have, that we did our due diligence to make sure that this was.
Well, that way too, if you do a check and somehow you didn't find it, you can still hold them accountable for not disclosing it. Cause isn't there a question in our application, have you ever had a?
Mm-hmm.
So do we want
line on it?
to, yeah,
Yeah, the discussion was had back in January, if you remember.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it briefly.
Mm-hmm.
So, do we just go from now on, use the BCI's background check? It's $15 per record.
I feel like that'd be the most non-biased route. Because I mean, I'll give an example. For hypothetically, if we have an employee who doesn't have a record in the state of North Dakota, but if you Google them and find out a possibility of them having a record in another state, how do you handle that? How do you see if it's going to be the same individual? Maybe there's multiple people with the same name. That's where I struggle. It's just not my forte.
And this only provides North Dakota, so in order to get it, you'd have to do a national. You have to do it through the FBI or do a other type of search.
And I don't know the exact percentages. There are quite a few states that if you just type in North Dakota, just like you do it here, that you can. I know Minnesota, you can. But if we do, is that what you're saying, Levi, if we do the BCI one, that would only do a North Dakota?
That only do North Dakota. And there is other ones out there. I mean, you can pay and get a little bit more. There's like a TELUS and background and checker, and there's a whole bunch of different ones that can run a report and say, it checks all the public websites at once for you. Been verified. We've used before. Or would you guys just prefer that someone in the office does it and puts it in the file?
If we sent it off, or if they got that off the BCI, that it is only North Dakota?
Yeah, that's what it said on their website.
Oh, okay.
It says requesting it says request for criminal history information only provides North Dakota records for individuals who are required by state or federal law to obtain a national FBI, including applicants for professional licensed foster care, potential adoptive parents, and others. They must be made through the BCI.
So you're talking that, what was $50 for the national?
15 for
15?
just for the local.
No, I mean for the national.
The national, who knows if it'll work? We have to use the national because it's
I know not a lot of teachers, people going to be teachers come in and get prints and stuff for
Yep, because that's a national, or we're required under that national, so we have to have fingerprints on file through, and it's just, even to get the license.
What do you guys do at the county for the sheriff's office? There's have to be background check there.
Yeah, I mean, you can get around.
You can do it through through the FBI. I haven't tell them the price on it yet. If you want to do it the FBI, you sure can. I just got to find the price.
That's right, because we just do the prints for like the teachers, and then you guys take them in and send them in, don't you? Or the school does?
It's $18. If you want to do it, it's 18 per person for the FBI. and it takes 15 days to process. So we could always hire somebody until we receive back the background check contingent, so we're not doing a ton of them. Is that how?
I don't think you can do that background check until you give them an offer.
That sounds right.
Is that what you guys want to do?
So you would change, the addition to criminal background checks, you change it to whatever you would do that.
No, I don't think you have to change it. It's just we would have an internal policy that says we will, when officially hired or going to make an offer, you'd send off the background check. When it comes back, then they can still work before then if you want. Correct, JR? Because it's contingent on.
Can you implement that at any time, or would it be best to do it like we clear at the beginning of the year? This is our policy starting January 1. That way they can't say that, well, I'm the first one and this hasn't been a policy so far.
Well, I don't know if it matters too much if we get it now versus the first. Remember, it is when it starts though. It's policy moving forward.
Which it would be whoever the next hire would be. Which hopefully is soon.
And I'm just asking because it's in here, so we either have to do it or take it out. So,
I think it's a good idea to do, so it's on. I don't know that always was done. Maybe would have.
Well spent $18.
Yeah. Because whoever sends it in and looks at it would say, yes, it's clear, no, it's not clear. To everybody else that's hired.
That way too, if you send them to like the sheriff's office to get printed, they're gonna have to put the bill for the fingerprint cards. So if they know they have something on their record, they're probably not gonna raise their own money either.
It does even say on the FBI one they can go to a UPS or USPS to get printed. On participating ones, let's see what.
I was gonna say, I'm guessing Hillsboro probably doesn't have the stuff for that.
Places where you do passports.
Moorhead and Fargo. Unless they have the electronic scanning machine, maybe.
I don't local because those are pretty spendy. You have to do a lot of prints to make that money back.
Okay, any other questions on the policy manual?
on the sexual harassment policy, if there's a complaint, is that a written complaint, or is that just a verbal complaint? Or how are those documented?
Title IX.
Huh?
Nicole said it's Title IX. For complaints in general, we do have a complaint form. And then, yep, we document.
And that's in here? That we do that?
Probably not. We did have,
Because this is for the employees, so if they had this happen, it would give them some direction on what they're supposed to do, is how I look at it.
so add in to C office about a complaint form. Is that what I'm
Whatever you
hearing?
prefer, I'm just saying that I think there should be something giving them direction on what they're supposed to do. Unless I don't see it in there. It might be in there already.
Say that again?
Up
Up a little bit? Okay.
a little bit.
And at number 2, you need to change employee to employer.
It's in the sexual harassment policy, Paul. That is specifically is in the, if the harassment doesn't,
And, maybe this could be one of the, kind of the annual trainings too, to just go over Title IX, like what it is, what it contains, without scooping the whole thing in the manual, Could be something as simple as,
If the harassment,
refreshing it every year,
it says the first step is the employee should discuss with the improper behavior with the person involved to let him or her know that if harassment doesn't stop or if it recurs, the employee should report the conduct perceived as harassment as soon as possible to his or her supervisor or to the personnel commissioner if the complaint involves the supervisor.
I understand that, but is there, at any point, is there any documentation of any of this? Or is it just word of mouth?
Well, any allegation you would be
Like investigation would require documentation.
Right.
Right. So you have to do the steps, and then if it continues, then you have to file an official complaint, and then an investigation has to open.
Number 2 there, Casey, shouldn't that be employer?
No, it's employee.
No, it's employee.
That's just saying the employee, yeah.
Correct, JR, if they're first gonna report it, whether it's verbal or they go to Casey or to Zach or whoever, and they would have to either write it down or investigate it, so there would be something. It can't be just and then it would go into the personnel files of both. So I don't know that it needs to be it's internal policy, not in the employee policy.
Here would be our counseling form, same thing as a complaint form. In the event that something were to happen, this is what we would ask them to fill out and have additional pages if needed.
Because any complaints that have come so far went to Casey, and I haven't, and then we'll talk about it, but other than that, that's as far as nothing's involved Casey, so I haven't had to go above and beyond, which is good.
Yeah. The few times we've had to use this form, we've handled it internally based on policy and on improvement plans. So, we could have this form, you could have the other section be sexual misconduct, or we could include that, as its own separate line item too. So, but yeah, this, just to help out a little bit, this is what we use currently. And this is a new form as of this year. So, sorry, Paul, I'll go up to the top. I don't think you were looking earlier. There you go.
I see that, but my question is should we have something? I don't care if we do or not, I'm just wondering, if I want to make a complaint about something, do I fill out something? Do I just tell somebody? If I tell them, then they're gonna form me, or do they? So if I tell Casey, then she'll say, okay, this is what you gotta fill out.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, any type of sexual harassment or harassment gets taken seriously.
I think we've taken any complaints that have came in as serious, so Casey has taken every one that I've been aware of, we've taken serious and looked into it and sat down with individuals and talked to them or whatever we needed. And a lot of them don't even come to you guys, which is okay, so.
Yeah, I think, if I remember correctly, like some of the universities have, where you report and then you have to go to I can't remember what it's called, conflict counseling or something, to try to resolve it first. And if it doesn't, then that's where you launch the investigative complaint.
Because maybe they didn't follow policy and they didn't do step 2, so then we'd say, have you talked with them? Or if you don't feel comfortable, should one of us be there? Because we've done that as well. So.
And you gotta take each complaint on its own basis.
Correct.
Whether or not there's bogus complaints made sometimes that don't go very far.
Should I put somewhere in the policy that forms may be handed out for documentation purposes? You guys want me to put that in there?
I think we're covered. I think we're good how it is.
Or I would even put that I think just putting that one form in, that employee counseling form in.
And
As
an
an appendix just at the bottom, it says,
Please see Appendix C for, okay.
I don't even think you have to have that. You can just say, and the appendix. And any other forms that we may use. Like,
The
when
credit
you-
card one I'm putting in.
right, or leave requests, what needs to be filled out, or so that they're in there and they're aware of it. And they can never say, oh, well, we didn't know that we were supposed to do that. No, it was at the bottom of there, you signed it,
It's a policy.
that's the policy.
Okay,
That way, if they're in there, they know, so.
okay,
We'll kick it back to you for a few changes.
okay, sounds good.
Anything else?
You know, we have this dress code, is there any concerns with, I know a lot of the stuff that the guys are wearing nowadays does have City of Hillsboro, but I'm just, is that something that we really want more of? You know, because let's say obviously I'm probably driving a city vehicle, so that helps. But if I come to your door and I have nothing that shows that I'm a City of Hillsboro employee and I don't know you, would that be something that we should look at doing? I don't know, I'm sure some of the bigger cities have that, you know, but we're just small, but I'm just bringing the question out there. Is this something we should maybe look at, maybe making sure that our employees have branded clothes or not? I know it's a cost, but I know also that we have local people that'll do that too, if we take it into them, but just asking the question if people feel that's something that would be important. If somebody's coming up your door and says, I'm from the City of Hillsboro, well, if there's no way identifying themselves, you know.
If you did want to do that, another option is to do a badge, which would be,
And that's another option.
Yeah. Well, and just from what I've kind of noticed in my almost 2 years here, the guys don't have a whole lot of City of Hillsboro clothing. You know, their hats are about the most, you know, they'll wear their hats. And I know our guys, they get 5 shirts a year, a pair of boots, a pair of coveralls, and then every other year they get a winter jacket. The opposite years they get a summer jacket. Well, I know we haven't bought a whole lot of jackets, so I don't know if that might be.
And it really doesn't, if I'm working from the view of somebody out there, is that something that in the small town of Hillsboro, is anybody concerned about that? I don't know.
oh, I'd be more concerned that ANSI is being worn than
That what?
that ANSI is being worn, proper ANSI attire is being worn instead of, but whether they have that on there, we did the trucks because
And that helps a lot. So.
in the past, we've always said, they wanted to pick the clothing out that fit them best and not just us buy a stock item. So I think if you really want that, our better option would be to make sure that we give them some kind of badge or card that says they are city employees. Because like I said, ANSI is more important for me, that they can be seen.
Because too, with the badge, if somebody, you can leave it in your truck, if somebody questions it, or you have to go talk to somebody, you can just grab it and they're there.
Right.
We do use a pretty great company out of Fargo right now for all the hat embroideries, so if you guys, and we did it for the summer health shirts. We used a Fargo company, so they're pretty quick if you guys ever did want to see something different, I guess, so.
Thoughts, Paul?
Yeah, that's fine, you know, I want to bring it up, so that if anybody says if that's a problem, nobody's heard of it as being a problem.
I haven't heard it as a problem since we've put it on the trucks.
And I've only heard a couple comments about the kids, and that was last summer. Yeah, this summer I hadn't heard anything.
Okay. Anything else?
And then on the employee performance appraisals, are those, every year we do them now, that's what we're starting doing them. Those are kept in their file then too? So if you wanted to, is that the plan?
Yep, I did put everybody's in their file. And that, you know, this year I did it everybody's kind of prior to budget season, just because I kind of thought that would meld well in the event that Commission would like to do performance, you know, like performance-based increases based off of them. But I'm almost wondering if that's something that you guys would like me to keep doing them, you know, like in the May to June timeframe, or if I should do them on anniversaries. What's your guys' thoughts?
I think if you do it at the same time every year, that's fine.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is if you've changed the form, take what's out in the policy and just say, see appendix, and then put it in the appendix.
We still use that same one.
Okay, I wasn't sure. So.
Yep.
Any other thought?
I got one last thing. On the clothing, you have all that listed. Do they have to get that from a certain area? Do we have to have probably like the bathing suits, you know, that could be $100 one, or it could be a $200 one, and other things. Do we have to put a dollar amount on, or give them a list of things to pick from, or do we just, it's not really a problem?
You know, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what we reimbursed for swimming suits this year. I could find out and get back to you on that. Yeah, I'm just not too sure on that.
In the past, we've said 75, and it had to be approved by the pool superintendent, so that wasn't a bikini top or something, because they all have to wear appropriate attire. But that's what I went with
You're
this
even
70.
talking like, the streetworks guys, you know, you might go get a $50 shirt, or you might get a $10 shirt.
Yeah, but that's kind of my point is, it's maybe not an issue, but I'm just, you know, if I can get it reimbursed, well, I'm gonna get, you know, well, they're gonna reimburse it anyway, so I'm gonna get the top line winter cat coat, you know, and I'm gonna get, you know, or do we give them a list to pick from? I'm just asking the question because
Maybe
I
just
see
put
somebody
in,
go out and buy a $200 coat,
I
that's
think
over
it
here.
should be
Geez, how'd you get that fancy one?
to choose from.
Give them a list to choose from.
I think so, but
I
that's
think
just
so.
my opinion.
That way too, you're, especially like coats, you're making sure they're reflective and whatever else you need. Wouldn't be a terrible idea.
okay,
But I think it gives like the promotional companies too, like they provide, you know, like so many, like 5 different shirts to choose from, 5 different jackets or whatever, and usually you get a better price for that. Doing it that
Where do
way.
they get most of their clothing from? Is there a catalog or something they get it from? A certain vendor? Or?
So prior, if I order clothing, like if I'm gonna buy my guys' hats or something like that, I go through J&L Sports because they have the open, you know, and like us city gals, you know, we'd purchase our own shirts through them too. You can go on their online catalogs. They've got 2 main vendors they go through, and that's how I've gotten my clothing. I've just paid for it and, you know, picked out what I wanted. But they give, this vendor, they do high vis, they do a little bit of fire resistant, all the way down to pretty cardigans, you know, they'll do all of that. So you can just go on the online catalog, say, okay, I want 7 of these in this size with our logo. You know, you can do that route. But prior to having them work with us, the guys would just, you know, they go to Fleet Farm and kind of pick out what they'd like, and or wherever they feel like shopping.
Could you just simply put it as the clothing as to be approved, the purchase has to be approved by yourself or something, so we know, well, if somebody's, anything they can buy, except for maybe the lifeguards, of course, that would be the pool manager, but like, you know, just to make sure that everybody's getting the proper, you know, clothing, like you said.
I'd rather see that you just set a price on it.
I have no idea. The only thing, and I see that too, but I also the downfall of that, the way prices are going, if we say $200 now, well, in 2 years, it might be, although we go through this book every year, but now it's at $250. You know, so we'd be constantly changing that. It's
Because if you give them 5 options and they don't like it, they're not gonna wear it.
Yep, I do tell them to get a good pair of boots. You know, I mean, foot safety is kind of one of the higher priorities. But, I can easily say I don't think any of the seasoned public works guys buy 5 shirts a year. I never see them doing new shirts. I know Jay is very attached to his one light winter, his light jacket, and that's the only thing he wants to buy every year if he can find it. You know, just So I know they don't do a whole lot, but it is kind of a goofy area to budget for, just because our guys just do not.
Well, to
They don't
me,
do
it's,
it.
I don't, to me, yeah, you have your favorite thing, but it's also, to me, it's about you representing the city of Hillsboro. Well, if your jacket gets old and wore out and tattered, and, you know, you are representing the city of Hillsboro, so they, you know, I could see somebody come on and say, that's, can't even afford to give your guys a jacket. So, you know, so it's about that too, because that's even in there too, about representing the city and everything in there, so.
Oh, where do you get your outfit? We can get them all one of those.
If you want one of these, that would make it easy, and they probably all be more comfortable.
I'm not sure all of them want to wear it. I mean,
Well, you gotta have the right personality to wear one of these.
You gotta have an outfit like his and then have his name sewn in.
Have no shame, no shame.
Okay,
May I insert something
sure.
in this conversation? What we used to do, okay, everybody's gotta have work boots for their job. So the safety directors or whatever issued a $150 voucher to either go to the boot barns, Red Wing, wherever they are, Leaf Farms to get their boots. And if it was more than $150, then the employee paid the excess. If it was at the $150 and matched up there, then they got the boots. And basically, last time I bought a pair of boots for my old work and everything, I paid 28 cents. You know, it was tax. You know, but if you, for that, your clothing and everything, as you see, you know, this is an old CHS shirt, and like she said and everything, they took and they went through and they got their discount by ordering the quantity, and we were allowed 3 shirts, you know, long sleeve yellow ones, you know, for safety or whatever, or the short sleeves for the summer, but you know, 3 shirts. And by the time you got to all the people's, your workers' size, by, okay, Paul, you're a size 3X, you're a 1X, you know, and they ordered it that way. And that way the price came down to save the city money. And you're buying basically in bulk, and you get the bulk rates by ordering the shirts. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, the different size. Same thing with, you know, our winter, you know, coveralls that we did. We got, you know, we got that at up in the Grand Forks area, and they gave us those coveralls, those insulated coveralls for $115 because we bought on our ship, you know, 4 different sets of things. So they got the bulk by the time they get all the shifts. And, you know, that's something that they, as far as clothing and everything, you know, you could have City of Hillsboro. That way they're identified like what you want. But that I know Hillsboro ain't a corporation, but that's what the big corporations do.
What if we said up to $500 per year per employee on clothing?
Then you can budget whatever you feel is fair, you know what they can buy.
I don't think so when you,
$500 fair. I don't know how much a coat costs.
for example,
Boots can cost $300 easy, you know, for a good pair.
Red Wings, yeah.
but you have to remember, we also have electrical people that they're gonna buy fire resistant, and those pants and shirts are $100 a piece.
Which is why I put that in on here too, because that's been discussed, you know, are electric department employees able to have those shirts covered under that 5 shirts per year, or is that a separate thing that we really need to look at? You
Well,
know,
I've been approving some of their clothing separate without this, their safety stuff. That they have to have, rain gear, things like that.
yeah,
But that's different,
Right.
it stays in the truck and probably.
yeah.
There's some things that you really have, that they have to have, it's no choice.
Yeah. Are you thinking, Like, just out of curiosity, like $500, with proven receipts, that type
Yep.
of yep, okay. I was gonna say, because I know I've dealt with, not here, but previous employment, they used to give employees a $250 boot check at the beginning of every year. Well, they'd go get a $60 pair of boots at Walmart and then duct tape them within 6 months, you know, and then pocket the rest. And
No, it's with receipts.
Yep. So
And
that's-
75 for the pool would be enough. If that's what your thoughts are.
Okay,
But I mean, you could easily hit $150 for a decent pair of boots and $200 for a nice decent winter jacket in some of our businesses, so. I guess for me, if we haven't seen a neglect of it, I don't see the fix what's not broken. Yeah, I think we have checks and balances by either the commissioners that oversee those offices or the office.
We'll go with the max on it, $800 or something.
You know, then they're gonna, well, whether they need it or not, they're gonna spend $800, that's just how it
Right.
works when you put a dollar amount on
Works
it.
fine.
But we also want to encourage them to, you know, if the shirt's getting bad or jacket's getting bad, we want to encourage them to make sure to replace it or not, or the same way.
We spend more on shirts than we do on electrical. I meant talking about shirts and whatever else that we did on phase 1. All right, anything else? Okay, Casey and I will go back and look at some of those things. Any other reminders? I'm gonna throw one thing out for you, because somebody brought it up. What are your thoughts on possibly giving them an extra day off at the Christmas holiday? Christmas falls on a Thursday. And so
New Year's too, is on Thursday as well.
we give one, not both.
Oh, it's next year. What's that, you saying? Oh, New Year's is on Thursday as well.
I'm like the stickler on this one, because I'm like, that's what you have vacation for, if you want a day off.
Well, the other option that was thrown out was to ask to work on Veterans Day and then trade it for that day after.
I agree with the fact that I'm kind of a stickler on it, I don't get that luxury in my
Okay.
business, it's how it falls. If you wanna burn a vacation, go ahead and burn a vacation,
Okay,
take a sick day.
that's fine, we just wanted to ask, so. Okay, any of the other announcements? Reminders? Do I have a motion to adjourn then?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Moved by Nicole, seconded by Jason. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, meeting is adjourned.